Which means the weird recursive thing is back. Don't worry, I already know it's there. It's just part of the way the technology works. Welcome. Thank you for watching. This is a game that I run every 2 weeks. So our next game is going to be on the 22nd? Yeah, 22nd. And we're going to continue on with this heist. It's going to be a lot of fun. Waterdeep is one of my very favorite places to run any kind of game. If you have any questions for us, we're here probably, although Jen, it's very late over there. Are you feeling okay?
I am going to have to get going because Wednesdays are my allergy shot days right now. And so I got to get up and like drag myself and get shot, and so sucks.
Before you go, let's go ahead and give you the chance to do the thing that we always do at the end, which is what is something you had fun with, and what is another player character that you would like to give a shout out to?
Gosh, I mean, I had fun with everything. It was a really fun night of just kind of silliness, and I loved it. I would actually like to shout out both Jeff and Olivia, because we just all had fun together. And they're kind of they're different perspectives on what is basically a quick fight fun shopping trip thing here and there, you know.
Yeah, I like we hit a lot of the tropes, which is good because we hit a lot of the tropes that we missed before. This is the first time you have met in a tavern to start an adventure. Like, that's just not a trope that we hit at the very beginning. So I'm really glad that we did that, and you fought some trolls, and you did some exploration, and you did some talking and some planning and some shopping. Yeah, it was a really great kind of in between big action sequences kind of day.
Yeah. I liked being able to extend onto the thought that Kreitha is not very world-wise. And and is just like this young, like, just some of these things are like, I think that had she come into contact with some of those magical items at the beginning when we first met her, she has actually grown enough to be less terrified of magic.
I mean, you've gotten a pretty hard crash course in having magic around you.
Yeah. So that's been fun.
And I have to say, I really, really enjoy Kreitha kind of getting used to the big city and getting used to magic. Like, and I have to say, I really love the mutual culture shock of, wait, you're how old? Wait, you're how old? Like, amazing. Chef's kiss. Did not expect that. That's my shout out of the evening. That bit right there of, wait, you're 5? Wait, you're 16? Is just amazing. I love, because goblins are a very, very diverse species in this game, and I love showcasing that, and I think it's a great interplay between the two characters.
I had a good time.
So go ahead, Jen, go to bed, sleep well, make sure to wipe the makeup off before you go to bed. That's what I have gone to bed in the makeup after big LARPs before, so I know how that goes. But it's great to have you. Tell our wonderful people here who are hanging out with us where they can find you and follow you.
They can find me at the Swedish Geek Ball on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and
Let's see if this
on
works this
Etsy. Doing selling my artwork on Etsy at Winter Rose Art Shop.
It's the Swedish Geek Ball, right? On Twitch.
It's the Swedish Geek Ball on Twitch. It's T Geek Ball on Twitter, and it's Swedish first name, Geek Ball last name on Facebook, because my silly butt did not know how to make a fan page, so I made another person page. I'm very smart. I mean,
I'm typing poorly, so whatever.
It's all right. Yeah. There's you got it.
I did, but then I put a space in it. It's dumb. Anyway. Jen, have a wonderful night. Sleep well. Go to bed.
You guys have a wonderful night too. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Love you all. Bye. And now my cats shut up.
Finally. All right, and I'm also gonna take my own down if I can.
No. Do I not get to leave?
If you just close the window, it'll leave.
Oh no, the problem was I couldn't get to the window because it looked like the other. I've got two windows stacked. I've got the window with our little meet to do all this voice and sound, and the window with your thing on, but they're both black because of my high contrast.
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
See you next time. Okay. So we've got a little bit of time for folks who are still here. We have some folks. Thank you, Nassif. If you're still with us, please shout out in chat. I'm really, really glad that you gave us this raid. Thank you so much. Josh, I see you. I am so happy that you're here. Nelson, I see you. I'm so happy that you're here. If you have any questions, I know you all came in very late, but if you have any questions for any of us about anything in-game, anything about our characters, anything about us, please let us know. We're going to talk a little bit about today's events, and we're going to recap a little bit so that those of you who came in late can get an idea of what this is like, so that when you go back and check out the VOD later, you'll have an idea of what to expect. So we started with some combat, right?
Yeah.
What did you think about that combat? It didn't quite turn out the way I thought it would, but I'm happy that it turned out the way it did.
Honestly, you said you tamped it down. I'm confident we could have stomped it unmodified.
Yes, there was another troll that was supposed to be there, but M wasn't feeling well this evening, so I decided to take out one of the trolls in the combat so that we can, maybe make it a little bit more balanced. But that Venom troll would have been a big deal, but the moment Barnabas's swing actually killed one of his companions, one of his allies, that's when I decided to do the Sparta kick.
I was going to do that next time. I was going to do the open palm monk shove if you didn't.
All right, then maybe I shouldn't have done it. But he had one more attack left, and I was like, let's go for broke.
With the strength score on that troll, mine probably wouldn't have worked.
That's fair. And because remember, the troll got a 22 on Barnabas's 23, right? So it was a very close thing. I thought that went really well. I wouldn't take it amiss if looking at you, chat, fan art happened about that particular moment. But
oh man, there were so many good like the lantern scene.
Oh, thank you.
To draw that one.
That was cute.
That one was ad-libbed. I did not plan that one out ahead of time. But yeah, I'm a big fan of floating lanterns. And I noticed Psychanthrop, when that happened, mentioned also, said that he loves floating lanterns as well. And I agree. I think it's a great, I don't know, a great visual.
Yeah.
What do you all think about this upcoming heist against the Xanathar?
I'm intrigued. I don't think we're going to do what you expect, but I do think that it is a challenge that we are more than up for.
I statted out items and things and some skills in preparation of doing a heist, but now I'm very tempted by that gladiator pit
I am always so. Here's a thing about me. Up until the last few campaigns that I've run, I don't start campaigns in taverns. I tend to start campaigns in arenas. I usually start with a quick tournament arc because I like getting players comfortable with the combat system very quickly as they sort of figure out what their dynamic is in this space. So I usually start out at level 1 in an arena. They have to do a couple of fights, and then they go off and do their thing they take the money that they get from winning or whatever. It's not usually a lethal encounter, although in this case it definitely might be. But yeah, every good anime has a tournament arc, and I would not mind a tournament arc here. I know that not all of our players are super duper enthused with the idea, but I definitely think that
again,
it
so long
could
as
work.
It's not bracketed, I think we're fine.
Yeah. I would if we do a tournament arc, it would probably be, let's say, 2 to 4 encounters.
Right.
And some in-between encounter, interaction with the other gladiators and interaction with each other and stuff like that. there would be a story behind it. It would be like an anime tournament where we only follow the important people. Yeah.
Good anime tournament. Not too long, and
exactly.
Doesn't get in the way of the plot.
We'll see what we can do to plan for it.
Right,
I am certainly tempted by it.
I'm tempted by it, but I want to see the fish plot and all of the ridiculous shit that could go on with that one. Like, right now as a player, I don't know which one Echo's gonna like throw his vote behind of that they do. I am torn.
Calder is similarly indifferent because he has a very particular like desire to not work with the Xanathar, but at the same time he also doesn't care if he entertains it either. So he might. So the gladiator fight sounds neat, but if it comes down to it, like he's well spec'd for a heist. He's full of shadow magic.
Yeah, and Kreitha has passed without trace. Like, you have the ability to be very, very sneaky. The problem is a straight up sneak in, sneak out is a very high risk, high reward proposition. You don't know exactly you don't know anything about the lair other than that you've got a couple of different entrances. And if you are discovered, there are enemies everywhere. And you have just learned that the Xanathar itself can become invisible at will.
Yeah.
It's got a precious that isn't the goldfish. Yeah. How was the assortment of magical items? Some of those were randomly generated, and some of those I handpicked, and at least one of them was thought up by our very own Gale. What did you think about the assortment that you were offered?
I thought it was fun. Like, I love magical hackle moments. I think that these kinds of encounters are fun. Again, so long as they don't overstay their welcome, they're often very cool. But I loved the fake out of the deck at the end, because that's like everyone is terrified, correctly so, of the deck of many things. But the deck of illusions is, again, one of Jeff's very favorite magic items.
One of the most useful magical items, especially at that rarity in the game, yes. And I gave it 60-40 odds that you would not mess with the deck. Like, I honest to God thought that you were going to turn it down. And then in this talkback, I would have revealed, yeah, by the way, that was the deck of illusions that you just turned down. Ha 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 ha. But, like, because, yes, obviously I was referencing the deck of many things there. And
I have the deck of many things app, dude. We can run that plot if you want.
I love that Kreitha went for it, because she couldn't possibly know not to reach for a random magical deck of cards.
Well, we just established that she's practically, she's like not even fresh out of college, fresh out of high school level of like, an adult. Only, like, of course she's going to be the one tempted.
Yeah. I like it how, because of that, it's established this. I interpret like a very much big bro energy from Echo towards Kreitha now, and it's very adorable.
Well, but I like too that we have well established at this point that Kreitha is like has a little bit of magic envy, especially towards like Calder and even back with Charlotte's like high level damage spells that wizards and sorcerers get to throw around. And she's over here being a ranger, doing like, okay, for a turn I get to hit a little harder, or I can maybe do a little bit more damage if you're hunter's marked. And so her playing into the magic envy there was
100%. And like, if you took a moment out of game to really think about it, none of you could possibly actually think that I would introduce the deck of many things at this stage in the campaign. We know that it is a campaign-breaking item, but seeing both of your breath catch when I described a sealed unknown deck of magical cards made it totally worthwhile.
And then when she opened it, you said it looked like there were fewer cards than what the thing could hold. And I'm like, okay, he's given us an edited deck of many things.
And then she pulls a card and I say, hold on, I have to consult a table.
Yeah. Yeah, so meta-wise, I wouldn't put it past you as a DM to give us an edited, like, selection of a deck of many things.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, the deck of many things is much feared, reviled, beloved by many players for a reason.
Infamous is a good word for it.
It is pure chaos, and I love it so much. But I love the deck of illusions because it's actually very useful. And you gave me a bag of tricks. I am super happy.
And a kitty!
Yes.
Like,
How long does
1d
that cat stay around?
1 minute, I don't even know.
Yeah, let me look up the bag of tricks really quick.
It's the gray one.
It's the gray one. So
It's the gray one,
weakest
yes.
Let's see. Appears
The
empty,
creature vanishes the next dawn or when it's reduced to 0 HP.
Yeah, so it can I can just at dawn summon 3 animals that are my companions for the day.
Yes, basically.
Because you have a kitty.
They behave as they obey my mental commands. It's friendly to me and my companions. Acts on my turn. I can use a bonus action to command how the creature moves and what action it takes on its turn, or give it general orders such as attack your enemies. And in the absence of such orders, the creature acts in a fashion appropriate to its nature,
Like curling up and purring.
like curling up and purring, or say, and again, because it is friendly to their companions, something like, say, the boar or the badger or the panther or the wolf would be deeply territorial.
It could be. Oh man, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's you just gave the touch-starved, traumatized teenager a bag of pets.
A bag of therapy animals.
Pets that he can summon at dawn. They can summon it right after dawn every day, and they'll hang out with him all day. They all love him by instinct. I'm going to have to come up with names for each of these things.
Yes. Yes. You will eventually. So what you're gonna have to do, because I'm gonna edit this list. It's a gray bag, but I'm gonna edit this list a bit because I don't want you to know out of game exactly what's gonna come out. So I'm gonna change this list around a little bit.
The only one you can't modify is Panther.
Do you have a name? Do you have a name for the Panther? And it can't be Guinevere. I don't want to get sued.
Wouldn't want it to be Guinevere because Calder is raised by humans, so he would name it something entirely normal for a human cat, like Mr. Boots. So I don't know what he'll name it yet, but I'll definitely come up with. I might end up just referencing my own pets because I love them. I miss my pets so much.
Absolutely. So we've. Go ahead.
I had a question about Calder. Asking if he wanted to come to the religious ceremony and then him turning it down. Is Calder religious?
In his own way.
Like, does he worship a deity, or is it a different sort of?
Calder is not a devil worshiper, but Calder does worship the god of magic, and his practices towards that are very specific to himself, which is what's encouraged by the god of magic.
Yeah.
But that said, he does have an upbringing, how should I say, a non-standard upbringing. So as a result, he is somewhat dissuaded from going to various holy services for entirely, not for any particular reason, but more of I have been the same reason that you, as a person who, if you are raised in a Catholic faith and have been raised since you were young to be Catholic, you would never set foot inside of a synagogue if you unless you had absolute need to. It's not it's not you. It is not against a hate within its religion, but it is that deliberately cultivated aversion.
It's you feel like because of societal pressure and because of family pressure, you don't belong there. It would be an uncomfortable experience because of the way that you were socialized.
And it's not based on anything other than the pressure of the upbringing.
Totally. Absolutely.
If he went there, he would have he would light the lantern, he would have been fine. But he doesn't know that, or doesn't actively think about that.
I love that about Calder. I love how you really try to work in his the trauma that comes from having such a demanding and difficult family, and how that manifests itself from the beginning of the Sunless Citadel until now. I absolutely love that.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's the way I think of it constantly is Calder is further back on his trauma coping kit than I am, so it's really fun to be it's a little bit of a retrospective of seeing that in development.
Oh, I've got plans. I've got
Okay.
plans for how Echo might think he knows best in helping Calder with things.
Oh yeah, that'll go well.
So we are in the last 10 minutes before we are going to call it a night.
Mhm.
I'm going to give Jeff a chance to finish that thought right there. And then we're going to move on into what we had fun with.
All right. The idea of Calder dealing with his family nonsense is absolutely something I want to drag into this game. It's something that we've hinted at periodically and want to, because it's like, hello, Rob, I have brought you an antagonist.
Yes, and in Waterdeep is a place where these sorts of machinations happen, whether you like them to or not. It's very much the game of houses is happening whether you like it to or not.
Yeah, and there's a lot of material in there, especially with the new Thay book coming down the pipe. So,
yes.
With all of the stuff that we've had discussed about the origins of Calder's family and their own ties to Thay. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that expansion.
That will be a lot of fun to bring into play, I think.
Okay. At this time, first off, please do stick around. We are going to see if we can find someone to raid after this. I don't think any of my friends' list is on right now, but at this time, I'm going to ask each of our remaining players to tell me one thing that they had a lot of fun with today, and one thing that they want to sort of shout out another player character for. I strongly recommend those of you in chat, also, if there's something in particular you really enjoyed today, go ahead and shout it out in chat. It makes me and our players feel really good to know that specific scenes or specific actions or specific descriptions really landed well. We want to know that we're doing a good job. So if you're enjoying yourself and if there's something you really want to shout out, please do put it in the chat. Let's start with Gail. What's something that you really had fun with, and what's a player character you want to give a shout out to?
I had a lot of fun finally getting to have the sloth conversation, the 3-toed versus 2-toed, the Echo has 3 fingers, Kretha has 4, and then, the further age differences between the two different types of goblins that they are. I've been wanting to talk goblin shop with another goblin in a scene for so long, and it happened. So that's what I have fun with. And then I really liked the how Calder, through the negotiations was saying this, was saying that, was doing insight checks. And at the end, when they're like, okay, here's your total, and Calder just kind of does the, well, Barnabas, we haven't gotten paid yet.
Hi, Barnabas. Looking Barnabas dead in the eye and going, hi, Barnabas, we haven't been paid yet. Slams the gold on the counter.
Even though you paid for shit, you're not missing an opportunity to remind him that you're not letting it go. And I love that.
Hi, dude, you haven't paid me and my friends yet, so.
Yeah, I really like that too. Because Barnabas is a guy that has 27 things on his mind right now, right? He has responsibilities all over the place. And one of them is indeed, yes, one of them is indeed to pay your asses. And he hasn't gotten around to it because he's had so much. He's got a kingdom to run. He's got an army to march. He's got a magical item to find. He's got information to gain. He's being stretched very thin, but you're not wrong to remind him, hey, by the way, where's my money? Where's my money? Jeff, what is something you had a lot of fun with, and what is a player character you would like to give a shout out to?
I loved getting to a couple of weird things that are outside of Calder's wheelhouse, because Calder got to nerd out about something today, and it's something that I've written in the background, that Calder has always been fascinated with magical creatures, and so getting able to talk about dragons in the past, yeah, sure, that's fine, but being able to talk about fucking dinosaurs, not in a land full of necromantic dinosaurs, Jeff finds Chult charming and hilarious. And it is by all rights, it's somehow worse Australia. So
one of these days I will get together a group that's willing to run Tomb of Annihilation, It's not going to be any of you, but someone will be willing to run that bullshit with me.
On my list of things that would get me to run D&D again, running a Chult campaign with a bunch of like starting prisoners in Chult would be hilarious. I want to do that so bad. So, but anyway, but the other thing that I thought was great, which went by totally uncommented, Calder's first melee kill.
Yes, indeed.
Hey,
yes, indeed.
You did the shadow sword thing. Is that melee?
It's a melee attack. You have to make an attack roll. It's
you make it with your charisma though, right?
Is it a spell? Is it a melee spell?
It is a melee spell that you may use as it has the finesse quality, and you may use it as you are proficient in it, and it is and if the lighting is even remotely poor, you get advantage.
Nice. Yeah.
So again, it was a kill that you just gave me the coup de grace for. So.
Yeah, in that one it was a phrase I'm not allowed to speak anymore kind of situation.
Like
kind of MERS matter kind of situation.
Honestly, the only thing I would have done was I would have done the quicken spell psychic lash and then followed up with the cantrip. The only reason
I was happy with Barnabas being the one to finish off the Venom Troll is because the Mind Lash specifically is what caused that to not work, right?
Well, you gave it a second, like it grabs the edge, and I go, it doesn't have a reaction.
That was my
explicitly is denied a reaction.
Mechanically, that was my favorite part because I was gonna say that sure, Barnabas does the cool thing and kicks him off, but it was gonna grab hold with its long arms, and you were still gonna have to deal with it. But since you had already dumbed it down, that's exactly right. I really enjoyed that.
That was a lot of fun, and so but for the other player, I had fun. I thought it was great. I loved watching the ongoing joke of Barnabas and Echo's ongoing romance. I'll call it a romance. It is what it is, and allowing it to watching that awkwardly play out, especially in a setting as fantastically racist as Faerun. With dwarves versus virtually everyone. The dwarves are kind of the worst.
Yes. Classic Faerun dwarves are kind of shitty people, all things considered.
In the Great Orcs are finally trying to put away their warish ways and establish diplomatic relationships with the other factions. The dwarves laugh them out of the room. Seriously.
Yeah.
The chance to put aside thousands of years of enmity, and you're going to laugh them out of the room with your god's endorsement? Get fucked.
Yeah, basically. Last thing, because I had fun with everything. I think I've already given shout-outs to each of you in turn. Echo, I love the flavor of your combat, the whole jumping around and kicking folks and using swift actions to move around is amazing. I love the fact that you made Barnabas almost blush. He went, stone-faced. I really enjoyed all of that. And Calder, again, the whole negotiation, talking about things, and especially that coup de grace that you made in the combat. Loved all of it. Let's finish up tonight by telling people where they can find you, where they can follow you, where they can find your artwork, and perhaps, at least in my case, where they can submit artwork if they want it to be featured during our break. We did Gale first last time. Let's do Jeff first this time. Where can people find you?
You'll find me at still tired and angry on both Instagram and TikTok, where I post my drawings and sketches and various works for this game and other games, as well as just generic concepts. I have an ongoing series called People That Don't Exist, where I just draw random sketches of randomized portraits. So
nice. Gale, I believe you tumble, yes?
Yeah, there's a Tumblr where I post all of the Echo and campaign related art, and that's A Measure of Separation. It's misspelled, and I put it in the chat. That's where all the Echo stuff will be, and maybe some more things too.
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at MathDemigod, and if you want to submit any fan art to be featured during our breaks, you can tag me at MathDemigod. I will absolutely take it, I will absolutely show it, and I will absolutely credit you for it. We really love fan art. We love fan music. If you wanna give us some music for us to put in the background, I would absolutely accept that as well. Anything, very much love it. You can also find the VODs of this particular show as soon as I start posting them again on youtube.com/gamingmathematically. It's a project that I've got going. I have several sessions worth of footage that I'm going to post up there. So if you haven't been following up to this point, that's a great place to go, because you can go all the way back to level 1 at the Sunless Citadel and see how far our characters have come since then. Thank you very, very much for watching. We appreciate you. We will be back in 2 weeks on February 22nd. Take care, my friends. Say goodbye, chat. Say goodbye, players.
Goodbye.